To this day, it still amazes me how many people don't know that the Second Amendment has nothing to do with hunting. Truth be told, the Second Amendment was a low-key threat to not only any foreign government that wanted to get froggy and try to oppress the American people, it was also a threat to our own government. In short, the Second Amendment is telling the government, the people who elected you to represent them have guns and a bunch of other arms. Don't bother trying to take them either, because they'll need them in case you decide to get a little froggy also.
You feeling froggy? Then leave.
That's actually longer than what the Second Amendment said, but you get the point. Anytime 2A advocates let it be known that the Second Amendment isn't about hunting, but about protecting the people's power to check a tyrannical government, anti-2A politicians like Joe Biden dismiss this idea and say goofy shit like this.
I might add, the Second Amendment from the day it was passed limited the type of people who could own a gun and what type of weapon you could own. You couldn't buy a cannon. Those who say the blood of patriots, you know, and all the stuff about how we're going to have to move against the government. Well, the tree of liberty is not water with the blood of patriots. What's happened is that there never been, if you want to think you need to have weapons to take on the government, you need F-15s and maybe some nuclear weapons.
However, history has a powerful counterpoint to this, and it's called the Battle of Athens. A true story about one of the wildest showdowns in American history. This battle was part of a broader cross-racial rebellion against corrupt and anti-democratic government antics across the country. Not many people know this story and many have forgotten it, but this epic battle demonstrates clear as day what the Second Amendment is about. So now allow me to paint this picture. See, World War II ends and millions of service members come home ready to kick back, rebuild, and bask in some well-earned peace. But not the veterans of Athens, Tennessee. Nope. They walk right into a real-life episode of the Twilight Zone, where their own town is under the iron-fisted rule of Paul Cantrell and his merry band of corrupt homies. Instead of ticker tape parades and apple pie, these heroes return to voter suppression, intimidation, and a local government that treats the law like it's a set of vague suggestions. Cantrell's regime runs Athens like their personal fiefdom, crushing any dissent and rigging elections like it's their favorite pastime. For these veterans, the war might have ended overseas, but the battle for justice and democracy was just getting started on their home turf. Since 1936, Cantrell had turned the sheriff's job into a cash cow, arresting people left and right just to make a buck. They'd even stop buses and yank off passengers and fine them for imaginary drunkenness. When World War II took most of the town's young men away, they scraped the bottom of the barrel for deputies, hiring ex-cons and other unsavory characters. Cantrell's corruption was limitless, from running gambling dens to shaking down roadhouses for protection money. By the 1940s, McMinn County was a mess of voter fraud and intimidation, and all-around dirty politics. Cantrell had a tight grip on the town, manipulating elections and ensuring his homies stayed in power. With about 10% of McMinn County's population being made up of returning veterans, these vets formed the GI Non-Partisan League, a group of dedicated to kicking out Cantrell and his cronies. Knox Henry, a decorated veteran of the North African campaign, emerged as their candidate for sheriff. Their campaign slogan, "Your vote will be counted as cast." But of course, the dirty tactics continued. Whenever a veteran went to register to vote, the registration book was conveniently missing. Veterans were also arrested and their poll tax receipts were confiscated, thus making them ineligible to vote. Come election day, corruption didn't just loom. It threw a full-blown block party. Deputies eyeballed voters at the polls, making sure everyone knew Big Brother was watching. However, the ultimate tragedy was an African-American man by the name of Tom Gillespie, a man just trying to exercise his right to vote, who was gunned down by a deputy for daring to support the veterans. And to add insult to injury, the ballot boxes of those who managed to vote were whisked away to the local jail. But these veterans weren't about to let their hard-won democracy be hijacked. They grabbed their guns and said, "Not today, Cantrell," and so began the Battle of Athens. The armed vets headed to the county jail where the ballot boxes were stashed. Cantrell and his minions barricaded themselves in the county jail with their ill-gotten ballots, hoping to rid the election in peace. But peace was the last thing on the menu. Under the cloak of darkness, the veterans surrounded the jail, demanding a fair count of the votes. However, someone in White's crew fired the first shot, and soon a symphony of gunfire erupted. The jailhouse rocked under the barrage, but Cantrell's goons, stubborn as mules, refused to budge. Hours ticked by. The veterans, running low on options, whipped up Molotov cocktails, but the jail was fireproof. Undeterred, they grabbed some dynamite. As they prepared to blow Cantrell to kingdom come, an ambulance screeched to the scene, and Cantrell and Mansfield bolted out of the town in the ambulance like the cowards they were. Now, with the Fugazi big bad wolves out of the picture, the veterans let loose with their dynamite, shaking the jail and sending parked cars flying. Cantrell's deputies were now leaderless and facing high explosives, so they did what any group of bottom feeders would do. They surrendered. By 3:30 in the morning, it was all over. The GIs had won, and the corrupt regime was dismantled. Knox Henry was elected sheriff, and Athens began a new chapter free from the grip of corruption. This victory wasn't just a local win. It was a beacon of hope for democracy and justice. The Battle of Athens showed that when ordinary citizens unite against corruption with arms, they can change the course of history. So, the next time someone asks you, so you think American people can take on the government with their arms? Tell them yes, and show them this video. Athens, Tennessee is also a reminder that you, we, me are the militia. Because a lot of people will try to tell you otherwise and tell you that the militia is about some government-controlled entity that comes together to fight. No, it is about the people coming together with their arms to fight back against tyranny. And that's what the I'm the Militia design is all about, is to remind you that you are the only one responsible for your own personal safety, and we are responsible for the safety of our own country. Because if our own government turns against us, the only people that can stop them is us. So check out the I'm the Militia design at shop.mrcolionnoir.com. I'll put a link in the description section of this video where you can check out the hats. We have them in shirts, and we also have them in drinkware. One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you. And we're all fighting this culture war together. Now, you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together, we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.